Nickleback's Rockstar is a great song. Maybe the greatest song ever recorded. But even better than being an earworm, you can deconstruct its lyrics to find the going rate for a human soul. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I need to make some changes to my content. Branch out, try new things and the like. And I recorded that video before everything in the D&D community exploded on the toilet. So for a bit of financial stability, I've decided to trade this life for fortune and fame. I'll even cut my hair and change my name. Today we itemize Nickleback's Rockstar to find the value of a human soul. First, the rules. We need to make some decisions and get some fine print on this soul contract. For example, the chorus repeats multiple times and lists several items. We'll only count each of those once. Now, outside of the chorus, if something is mentioned multiple times, or if it's mentioned in a verse and a chorus, we're going to assume those are multiple things. If we can assume something is literal instead of metaphorical language, we'll do it literally. If we're buying something and there's a cheaper option, we won't take it. When we can ball, we're gonna ball. Finally, some of these things will be an annual cost. For those, we'll take the yearly estimate and multiply it by 68, assuming that I live to be 100. We're just gonna ignore the water wars in 2050. Finally, some of these are just consequences of being famous. We'll try and find a way to spend money on those, but if we can't, too bad. Let's get started. First, we need a brand new house on an episode of Cribs. Okay, so this is going to be tricky. There are several houses coming up later in this list, but this one specifies a brand new house. I've never built a house, I don't even live in a house, but once I sell my soul to Chad Kroger, I will be getting one. Per this article from Fixer, it looks like the most expensive house you can build is around $3 million. Before doing the research for this video, I assumed we would also need to reboot Cribs. Turns out, Cribs has already been rebooted, so that's a freebie. I'm assuming with our $3 million house and a soul-selling amount of fame, we can get on an episode. Pauly Shore got an episode in December, especially because this house is gonna have If I was trying to cheap out, we could just buy a toilet and a Nintendo Switch with MLB The Show. But remember, if we can ball, we ball. Because Chad Kroger clearly loves baseball. This is the second baseball reference in the 6th line of the song. So far, this song is 1/3 baseball. The most recent baseball stadium built for the MLB is the Globe Life Field in Texas and cost around $1.1 billion per the Wikipedia page. But we're not buying that stadium, so we also need to buy the land to build our stadium on. It's on 270 acres of land. We'll round that up to 271 to build the rest of the mansion. I guess assuming the house is 270 times smaller than the bathroom might not be big baller. Considering the bathroom has 120 executive suites, I think we're balling. Average cost of land per acre is around $8,191, which means the land is going to be around $2,219,761, already getting a little spendy. But who hasn't wanted to hit a triple while taking a double? After I get to second base with a toilet, I like to clean off. Maybe in a Okay, here's the deal, gamers. I don't actually know how reputable various hot tub enthusiast websites are, but Bullfrog Spas lists a 12-person hot tub costing between $20,000 and $40,000+. Bullfrog Spa, that's a bad measurement, since there is an infinite amount of dollars above $40,000. I'm disappointed in you, Bullfrog Spa, but we'll say $40K is a good number, especially because we only need to fit 11 people in it. I'm assuming Chad wants to plan a heist. Kroger's 11. Okay, now we've got one that's a little more complicated, but I'm simplifying it. How do we get that? I think, honestly, that's just what our soul gets us for fortune, so it's more of a means than an end. Next. Okay, so private jet. Per bankrate.com, there are different levels of cost we can go for. They even have used jets listed, which is very funny to me. Imagine you have the money for a private jet, but you don't want to get too spendy. It's fine if there's a little dried billionaire grease on the seats. Getting ahead of myself here, since Chad specifies a big black jet, and since we're going to ball whenever we can, let's get an airliner. Biggest cost is $500 million, and for the bedroom, let's just throw $10K for a California king, some sheets, a duvet cover, 2 end tables, and a disco ball. That sounds like the kind of kitschy stuff a billionaire would like. Now we'll There's only one guaranteed way to make sure that happens, and that's with a saxophone worker. Look, Chad Kroger has no problem getting women. He was once married to Avril Lavigne, one of my first crushes because middle school Phil had a type. But I think we have to assume the most cost for everything, including hanky-panky. Should clarify, not every glucose gal has saxophone with their fructose father, but some do. Average cost, according to seekingarrangements.com, per this article from money.com, is $2,800 per month. Since that's the average, let's double it up to $5,600 per month. That's $67,200 annually, so $4,569,600. It's cool that a billionaire is actually creating jobs. Remember, saxophone work is real work. It should be legalized to protect saxophone workers, and you should tip your saxophone workers generously. If they give you an hour of entertainment, pay them for an hour of entertainment. If they give you 5 minutes of entertainment, pay them for an hour of entertainment, and be glad for their discretion. Time to get literal. We need a First, the bus. It's actually really hard to find a new tour bus. Only one I could find is this 2023 X3 Prevost SS Star bus on a website that looks like it was made in 2003. $1.8 million for the bus, not including tax and title sale, so let's just round that sucker up to $2 million. But to fill it with old guitars, first we need to find the volume. Couldn't find the size on the first website. Hopefully this nationalbuscharter.com bus is the same one. It's 3.72 meters tall, 2.59 meters wide, and 13.72 meters long. That's a cubic volume of 132.2 meters. Now, how large is a guitar in cubic meters? Per fuelrocks.com, a guitar case has a volume of around 20,784 cubic inches, which converts into 0.34 cubic meters. We're putting them in cases, we're not just raw dogging this bus. Of course, there's parts of the bus that have seats, tables, steering wheel, etc., so we can't use the entire thing for storage space. Let's just assume 40%. That would give us a usable volume of 52.88 cubic meters, enough for 155 old guitars. We'll round it down to 155 since it would be a pretty full tour bus. Now, there is a huge window in value on the eBay page for 80s guitars. It's easy math if we just say 1,000. It's on the higher end of what's posted and will give us a cool $155,000 as a price for our guitars. I was worried that was a meritocracy, but not really. You just need 5 years in an entertainment field and to spend $55,000 to nominate yourself. I posted my first video in 2018, so we're good to go. As far as getting your name, that should also be easy. They're about a mile apart, with Cher on 7018 Hollywood Boulevard and James Dean on 1719 Vine Street. Lots of wiggle room there. And now we've hit the end of the verse. Total cost so far, $1,612,049,361. Not too bad. Let's head to the chorus. I'm gonna trade this life for fortune and fame. I even cut my hair and change my name. Now, at first glance, there's nothing here to buy. It's just the steps to sell your soul. However, there are actually two expenses: a haircut and a name change. As a man, a high-end haircut is around $100, not counting the tip, so let's call that $120. Just because we sold our soul doesn't mean we're not tipping. Changing your name in Minnesota costs around another $100 and requires some paperwork. I don't know where Chad lives. I don't think we're gonna get a hint anytime soon. Okay, so we're gonna live in Hollywood. We already built a mansion, but this is gonna be a second house. Let's look up some LA real estate. The most expensive house I can find on Zillow in the Hollywood Hills is this one, for a little less than $40 million. We'll just round it up. It's been on the site for 136 days as of the time of writing this script, so maybe I'd bring the price down. It's about 19 million higher than everything else on the site, so yeah, I think we should be able to get this one. Now, driving 15 cars is a little hard because we have to do that literally, and I have to assume that Chad wants to drive 15 cars at the same time, which for a normal man, impossible. For the Giga Chad Kroger, easy peasy. As an appreciator of cinema, I know that in Fate of the Furious, the scene with the zombie cars was actually done practically, for the most part. I don't know how much the remote driving system cost, so we'll just pay the estimated budget of the entire movie. That should also cover the cars. Highest budget seems to be $270 million, though Hollywood accounting doesn't account for the marketing cost of the movie, but we don't have to market the movie, so we're gonna save money. Just $270 million. Nice and cheap. Next. Why are these girls arriving so easy? I'm just gonna assume they're also saxophone workers. Let's add in another 4,569,000, nice 600. For cheap drugs, I don't wanna make a joke about drug addiction. It's a healthcare problem, not a crime problem. So I'm just gonna assume that Chad is asking the devil to subsidize his health insurance. Good health insurance for an individual runs around $500 per month. So let's double that for the best coverage, lowest deductible, and copay. Make the drugs come cheap. So, $12,000 per year and $816,000 for the remaining 68 years of our life. How much food are we eating? None. This is the worst part of the song. Chad, you bought a baseball stadium to take a shit, but what are you even shitting? At most, you're passing gas. If I'm selling my soul for billions of dollars, half of that is just going to food and travel to food, but okay, nope, no food in the budget. Gotta save money for a bus full of guitars. Now we'll go. I've never had a VIP night out at a bar. It would be a huge waste for me since I don't drink. But according to lavishvegas.com, looks like it's going to be around $1,380 per night. Annually, that's $503,700, and for 68 years, that would be $34,251,600. We also need at least 2 movie stars for it to be plural, and per bookingagentinfo.com, it looks like a celebrity appearance fee is around $500,000. That's $1 million per night, $365 million per year, and $24,820 million for every night for the next 68 years. We're building quite the entourage here, and it's just gonna get bigger. Because it's another glucose gal, $4,569,000, nice, $600. And for a Playboy bunny with their bleach blonde hair, we need another celebrity appearance, so another $12,410 million, and bleaching blonde hair. Per John Frieda, bleaching blonde hair needs to be refreshed every 6 to 8 weeks. Let's make it 6 weeks. There are almost 3,546 weeks in a span of 68 years, which means 591 bleaching appointments. Per Butester, it can cost up to $200 to have your hair bleached, so that's $118,200. Then, hey, I wanna be a rock star. Hey, I wanna be a rock star. That's just a vibe, that's just fame. So the chorus is overall gonna cost us $37,584,325,220. When this repeats, we're not billing it again, though the chorus does get longer later for some reason. Verse 2 for now. I don't know how to qualify. How does one buy not wearing tassels? But for easy. Per salary.com, the high end of Bodyguard salaries is $93,000 per year. Let's pay $100K. Just to make the math easier, that's $800K per year times 68 for the rest of my life. That's $54,400,000. Our entourage is still not complete. Now I'm starting to understand why we need 15 cars, especially since his tour bus is full of guitars. Next, we get another line about how Chad isn't buying food. Instead, Chad, buy food. It's also kind of hard to quantify. Let's assume we never do laundry. Chad never mentions detergent. That means a new outfit every day with a $250 budget. That's an average, by the way. Sometimes fashion is cheap, sometimes it's not. Over 68 years, that's $6,205,000. Another issue, verse 2 is complicated. How do we get the... Well, per this People.com article, it was bought by Darren Metropoulos for $100 million in 2016. I don't think he'd give it up for the same amount he bought it for. Buying it seems pretty obviously like a flex, so let's double it, $200 million. If he still says no, we'll probably outlive him and buy it from his estate. Then another simple one. $4,569,000, nice, $1,600. That's the end of our entourage, which includes 4 glucose gals, 3 celebrities, 8 bodyguards, or 14 people going everywhere we do. It also means 4 people do not get in our hot tub. Obviously, the glucose gals and the celebrities are in, 4 of those bodyguards can't join. Maybe we'll rotate them. Everybody gets a turn. Final cost for verse 2, $265,174,600. Wow, it's almost frugal. Okay, the second chorus is twice as long. Don't know why. That seems like a weird thing to do in a song, but it adds the lyrics. Well, how is that different from the first part of the chorus, saying hang out in the coolest bars in the VIP with the movie stars? I don't know. I guess it isn't specifically movie stars, but since it's part of the chorus, I think per our rules, we don't count it again. Except we do have to count the latest dictionary. That's $14 on Amazon. So a landline? Definitely one of the weirdest things we need. Per communityphone.org, the cost of a landline is around $42 a month. That's $34,272 total for a second chorus cost of $34,286. It's getting cheaper as we go, and we only have the bridge left. Technically doesn't cost us anything. Doesn't say we'll be fined by the censors, we're just gonna be offending them. So I guess like make fun of them. Then, which does become a bit more complicated, we know that our pills are covered by our great health insurance, not because we bought it, but because Chad Kroger is Canadian. We're double covered. No, we need a Pez dispenser, and to ball the hardest, we need the most expensive one. Per rarest.org, the political donkey Pez dispenser is worth $13,000. It's kind of tricky. We don't have a specific number of songs we're going to record. If we assume a 12-song album every year for 68 years, we'll need 816 songs. Per Per industry hackers with a Z.com, ghostwriters for a 5-minute song cost around $1,000. I don't know how much I trust this site. It is loaded with ads. I don't recommend verifying this one. Verify the other stuff if you like. We're dropping $816,000 for our songs, which seems low. I guess it makes sense. We should end with cheaper stuff. Just one more line here. Okay, so we have to put on rock concerts. That makes sense if we're a rock star. The problem is our literal nature, since we have to lip sync them every night. That's 24,820 concerts. Per Prism.com, renting a stadium is around 50,000. We haven't even put on the concert yet. Let's double it to 100K, since it apparently varies greatly how many roadies, band members, etc. will be involved. That'll get us to $2,482,000,000 as our final expense. So, to recap, verse 1, $1,612,049,361. Chorus 1, $37,584,325,220. Verse 2, $265,174,600. Chorus 2, $34,286. And final bridge, $2,482,829,000. That's a grand total of $41,944,412,467. And for what? Sure, we have 4 mansions, a jet, a bus, 15 cars, over 150 guitars, 4 glucose gals, 3 celebrity friends, 8 bodyguards, 4 of which can't get in the tub with us. Our glucose gals and our 3 celebrity friends go everywhere with us before we go to the club and get bottle service every night to loosen up before performing a stadium-level concert every night, and healthcare, and a dictionary, and no food. That sounds pretty good, other than the food part. Pretty wild to think that this would not make us the richest person in the world. Per Forbes.com's real-time billionaire list, selling our soul and balling this hard for 68 years would only make us the 27th richest person in the world. Hell, this is $2 billion short of what Elon spent on Twitter. Accidentally made 2 Elon dunk videos in a row. Didn't intend that, but boy, this all sounds way more fun than owning Twitter. Anyway, someone says we don't have to tax billionaires more. Send them this video. Then ask them what else they could possibly need the money for. Food! They should spend it on food!